All right, pleased to be joined this time by Coach Jeff Conaway, Shiloh's Christian in Arkansas. Great program, great coach, guy I totally respect, always follow. Coach, take it away. You should be able to share your screen or anything you need to do.
Okay, let me. All right, we good, Chris?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, well, thank you, Chris, for allowing me to share a few things. I've got a presentation that I titled Planning and Practicing. And I really feel like as an offensive coordinator, there are several different things that you can do offensively and achieve the production that you want in a game. And so I'm not huge on necessarily scheme, but I want to be probably focused on the way that we practice that scheme. And so as I put this presentation together, I tried to give a glimpse of how we do it throughout the week and then what we actually do when practice does roll around. So I'll jump right into it with our identity. I am the head coach at Shiloh Christian in Springdale, Arkansas, but I do call the plays. I do have an offensive coordinator and a run game coordinator and a pass game coordinator, and those guys do an excellent job. But I do call the plays, so that is a little different. And I will try to go about this as if I were an offensive coordinator and tell you a little bit about how we get these different identities inside our offense. But we are a fast-paced, no huddle, hurry up offense. And one of the things that I feel like we've gotten better at over the years is not necessarily going fast all the time, but changing up those tempos. I really think that that is something that we strive to do, just to keep the defense guessing and to keep that stress on the defense with the variety of our tempos. We want to be a physical, explosive downhill run team, and we do that with power, counter, inside zone. We do attack the perimeter. We feel like those are easy opportunities, and we feel like we can attack the perimeter with some of our jet motions and our buck sweeps, our screens, our quicks, and we definitely will make that a priority inside our offense to attack those areas. We're a heavy play action and vertical pass game team as well, and so we use that with our RPOs, our play actions, our shots. We do a lot of multiple formations, shifts, motions, and we do want to give a lot of different looks. We want to run a lot of the same scheme by changing up the way that we present it. We want to major in explosives and ball security, third downs and red zone, and then we want to have that relentless effort, as everyone does, and an edge of mental and physical toughness at every position. And I think in here we've got a couple of things that demonstrate that. So when we get ready for practice, obviously the things that we're going to do on the weekend, we kind of boiled these down to four major things over the weekend that we want to accomplish. And organizing our playlist, coaches will utilize these lists to create specific scheme ideas. An identity of who and where we want to attack, and then we want to condense all of those ideas to provide a quality practice execution. And so I don't think that I can start talking about our practice before talking about what we're trying to accomplish throughout the week at practice. And so some of the things, this is not a magic formula by any means, but as far as organizing those playlists, I'll show you how we do that and how we utilize some of those playlists to get the information that we want. And then our coaches on point two, our coaches utilize these lists to create specific scheme ideas. I'm sure everybody does this, but we want to come in and I want my offensive line coach to kind of have ownership over the ideas. Everybody is free to bring these ideas, but once we've watched the opponent, once we've scouted them, I want our all-line coach, our running back coach, receivers coach to bring these specifics inside their responsibilities to the table. And as we put those things up on the board, really try to identify who and where we want to attack. And so once we get into our weekly preparation, as soon as the Friday night game ends, we will go have a post-game meal with our families. We'll do a production chart and a goal board. I believe, pull that up, production chart for us. we're giving our skill guys an opportunity to create a point system, a value system, and we tell them all of them are capable of bringing value. And so you can see the first few would be if a player missed an assignment or performed poorly on a particular play. You see their poor throws drop, and then the rest is simply opportunities for them to bring value. And so we feel like that production chart really is one of those things that our guys can kind of understand, that everything that they do might not have a plus minus grade, but everything that they do does have an opportunity to bring value. And we really want them to focus on those things that earn points and not those things that points are deducted. And then we also will do our goal board together as a staff after that Friday night game. And that goal board consists of goals that we feel like are tangible for us. They are measurable. They are goals that we feel like our guys can somewhat keep in mind as they're playing the game. They don't think about our goals, of course, as they're playing the game, but we feel like these are things that we want to really measure and we want to reward. And so we do a celebrate success on Monday.
Hey, Coach, reshare your screen. I think somehow you closed something out and it unshared. So
okay,
reshare your screen real quick.
there we go. And so doing the production chart, the goal board, getting that to where we can celebrate success on Monday is something big that we want to do weekly. We also do an O-line RB QB grading system, and that is the plus minus, the assignment execution. And we definitely have those in the plan as well. On Saturday, our offensive line and running backs will do their performance review. We will organize the cut-ups, begin our scouting report responsibilities. We'll begin developing great ideas to attack space and personnel. We will enjoy family time. We don't necessarily meet up at the office on Saturday. So we really try to give an opportunity for family time, and there's communication amongst our staff that naturally happens on Saturday, but for the most part, it's not at the office. And we want to communicate, like we said, via text, email, whatever the case may be, over that period of time on Saturday. Sunday, I begin the process of collecting my information on 11. Our coordinators will report at 1. Our assistant coaches come in at 2. The offensive staff will meet at 3. We'll discuss personnel responsibilities. We'll submit our best run, screen, pass ideas, and then usually at 6 o'clock that night, our receiver coach does the receiver performance review, where our guys will come in, watch the previous game, and get ready for the next week. On Monday, I'm going to meet with quarterbacks. We'll go over our QB production review and scouting report at noon, and our QB performance report. It's, like I said, it's simply a plus minus. I'm going to stat them. I'm going to give them notes that they need to correct, and we call those things just corrections and confirmations. I want to give them some feedback from things that they've got to improve on, but also give them the feedback of things that they did well. We'll have an offensive staff meeting at 1. Here's where we will finalize our scouting report, and we will begin Tuesday's script. On Tuesday, our script, and this is what I want to get into with our practice, is just why and how we practice certain situations throughout the week. And so every Tuesday, we're going to start our team period coming out, and we don't call it backed up. We call it coming out, and we don't want our guys to feel the pressure to have to go score. So we tell them, we give them certain tangible goals, and we want to tell them when we are coming out that we want to achieve 2 first downs. And so if we're on the -5, the mindset when we go out to run that first play of team, I want our quarterback to communicate that. I want him to be able to say to the rest of the offense that our goal is let's put together a great drive. Let's get a few great plays to start. Let's move the chains twice, and let's see if we can get the football across the 50. Once we feel like we've entered that yellow zone, then our objective does change, and we say we want to cross the 50, because we know that when we cross the 50, it's our opportunity to take a safe, aggressive shot. The Celebrate Success takes place on Monday as well. And then we get into our scouting report with the entire team on Monday. On Tuesday, our offensive staff will meet at 1. We'll finalize Tuesday's scripts. We'll do our position meetings. We will practice, and then we'll grade Tuesday performance. We do that on Huddle. Our coaches get in the play lists, and they do the confirmations and the corrections on the play list so that our guys can see that. And, really the big takeaway from that, and the reason that we do it, is because on Wednesday, we're going to all get together as an entire team with our players and go through that Tuesday practice. And so we'll also begin Wednesday script. We perform a blitz pickup every Wednesday. We'll start our landmarks, red zone, goal line, third down, and fourth down. And I'm going to show you how that practice is mapped out. And hopefully at the end of this, you can ask questions if there are questions. On Wednesday, our offensive team film does take place at lunch. You see that at 12. And this has been very effective for us. We'll bring the guys in outside of practice and outside of the afternoon. We do practice in the afternoon. And so we just tell our offensive unit to go and get their lunch and meet us in the film room. And we literally go through every team play that took place on Tuesday. And I think the value in that is a lot of times when we do our film, it's with our position groups, but bringing everybody together, letting everybody hear the offensive line coach talk through run schemes or protections and the corrections that he needs to make and that the players need to make, listening to the quarterback coach the quarterback, the running backs coach the running backs, and the receivers coach. We can talk over each other at times, but that's okay. And we feel like we've got enough time there to where it's not chaos, but it is good quality time for everybody on the offensive unit to hear and to get on the same page. We will finalize our 3-game scripts. We typically do 3 scripts of 11. And on Wednesday, we want to finalize that before practice, because as soon as those first 3 scripts are finished, we will go out to the practice field on Wednesday and we'll walk through those 33 plays. And so I really am big on scripting, and it's not necessarily the scripting that I'm big on. It's the scripting it early enough in the week for us to be able to walk through, practice through it, drill it, rep it in practice, and really see how many times we can get through that script before Friday. And I believe right now on most weeks, there's 6 different opportunities where we get through those first 33 plays. And so I really feel like that's setting our offensive unit up for success in the first half when we can get through those first 33 plays 6 different times before Friday. We'll go out and practice on Wednesday. We'll grade Wednesday's performance that night. We'll begin Thursday's script for the next morning. The next morning, we do a sprint through early in the morning at 6:15 a.m. Our staff will meet at 1 p.m. that day, and that's where we really finalize the rest of the call sheet, our personnel calls, our best RPOs, our P and 10, our red zone, our goal line, our third down, and et cetera. The RPSs for us are our best runs, our passes, and our screens. And so after that's completed, we'll get our guys at 3 p.m. and we'll go through another clap drill walkthrough with them to make sure that we're any questions that need to be answered. We'll do that at that time on Thursday afternoon. And then at 4 o'clock, our game plan is complete. And we typically change focus now, and we go right into our 7th grade, our junior high games, and we're able to help and assist those coaches in that. On Friday, we'll do another clap drill before our team meal. And in our team meal, we'll have that position group meeting and the last meeting if needed. Our coaches will discuss at 6:40, and then game time at 7. So once again, the way that we're going to break it down into 4 different areas, we're going to organize those playlists, the formation, down and distance, blitz, stunts. We're going to utilize these lists to create those specific scheme ideas, and each coach is going to bring that to our meeting over the weekend. We're going to identify who and where to attack based on personnel space, our best versus their weakness. We're going to condense all of those ideas and really take the quantity and turn it into quality in order to practice the quality. I I have fallen victim to this before. On Sunday, you get several ideas and everything sounds great, looks great on the board, but then there's not enough time throughout the week to actually practice that. And one of the things that we really want to make our players understand is we're not trying to practice a play until we get it right. We're trying to practice plays until we cannot get it wrong. And so to be able to have at least 6, 7, 8 different opportunities through the week to really focus in and get those quality reps and those walkthrough reps, I believe really sets an offense apart. You've got situational breakdown. And so you've got first down, we're third down, third and long, third medium, third and short, and the same for fourth down. And we're going to take those playlists, and all of our coaches, all of our players are going to have access to the list that we create. We're going to do a blitz breakdown and list those out. We're going to have a front breakdown. And so on Sunday, when we meet, we're going to take the data that we've accumulated from these playlists, and we're going to simply put those ideas up on the board, and we're going to bring our best ideas for our run, pass, and screen based off of what the opponent does. Our coach responsibilities, coaches utilize these lists to create specific scheme ideas, and I've talked through that. I told you that each coach has ownership in a certain area. That does not mean that the O-line coach can't give pass ideas, but that just means that when we finish, the O-line coach really needs to be able to check off all of those things that we've brought to the table. And if there are any issues there, then we'll simply remove that and move on. This is kind of what that looks like. And again, no secret recipe, but it's just proof of us getting in the room. And sometimes that ideas board can be overwhelming. And if I were to look at that and say, how are we going to practice these great ideas as many times throughout the week so that we don't get it, so that we can't get it wrong? I would be crazy to think that we could do that. And so that's what it looks like on Sunday. And it's my job as the offensive coordinator to really condense those ideas and be able to place them into a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday practice plan so that we can rep it as many times as possible. We do use certain things to help us identify those space, and Doug Maddox does a great job with R4, and we use a lot of the things that he uses, but I really love just the idea behind the halo and the hard deck, the 7 to 10 yard space. And I love the analogies. I love the way that we are able to put those diagrams on every formation and the way that the defense is going to line up. And it really does help us identify the areas that we want to attack, because it really is all about space, timing, and personnel. So we do use the halo to identify that space. This would be kind of an example of that. We're going to identify personnel, we're going to identify space, and we're going to go attack those forward tubes that are voided by the defensive alignment. Taking that quantity and turning it into quality, again, we're going to condense those ideas. And on this, I will show you kind of what the end product looks like. If I hope that by clicking on that, I'm good. I do believe that my screen is still shared, but this would be a typical Tuesday practice plan for us. And we have a football team of about 60 players, give or take. There are times when we may dip into the 50s. There's other times when maybe we're a little larger than that, but we still have guys that will play both offense and defense. And so Tuesday is one of those days where we're going to do both. We're going to practice our ones, if you will, in the shaded area here. So you can see when period 2 through 9, that would be the offensive ones. And then once we get into periods 12 through 18, we'll flip that. And that's really where we focus on our ones on defense. Some of the things that I think we have been able to do over the years to make the practice plan even more effective or strategic is I'm not real big into taking breaks. We want to have water at each station, but we created this halftime because we feel like one of the mottos that we want to try to accomplish is just being great in the middle 8. We talk about the last 4 minutes of the first half and the first 4 minutes of the second half. And I bring that up because over the years, when those things that we really stress and those things that we really measure, it's a lot of fun when our players can see that, feel that, understand it in a game. And so one of the things that we're going to do, this is our Tuesday practice plan, period 9. We're going to make this as intense as we possibly can. We want to go compete. And being great in the middle 8 means if we're late in the second quarter, there's 4 minutes or less on the clock, and we have the ball, we want our offense to, of course, go score. If our defense is on the field, we want to stop, and then we want to go score. We really feel like if we handle that well before the half, that can be a 14-point swing in a ball game. The same is true in the second half. And so we always start our second half of practice, period 11, with some sort of special teams on Tuesday and Wednesday. And you can see here that we would be doing a kickoff. Our scout would be on KOR. And we really just want to teach our unit, our special teams unit, to go make something happen, be special. And if we're on KO, then we want to pin them inside the 20. We want to send our defense out on the field and get a stop, and our offense to get the football back and go score. And we want to do that within the 4 minutes. And it's been really encouraging to see over the years how many times we've been great in the middle 8, and we've been able to really flip the scoreboard, if you will, and accomplish getting those 7 to 14 points in the second quarter and those 7 to 14 points in the third quarter. And it's a huge swing for us. So that's what the halftime is for. We put our guys on the line, and really every day we're talking, every day that we do our halftime, we're talking about being great in the middle 8 and the importance of it. Another couple things that we do while we practice that I feel like maybe is valuable. Every time we do inside, we know exactly where that football is going to be. We do have 2 groups, but we know where the football is going to be. And for the most part, most of the time, we know what that first play is. Every time we go to scale, we know that we're going to start scale on the 40-yard line in the south side of the field. And every time we get to scale, we know that we're running the same play. And I feel like we do that, and we ingrain that in our quarterback and our receivers, our running back, so that we can get the drill going. And a lot of times getting that first rep is the hardest, to get everybody in the same spot and make sure that you're ready, make sure the scout team is ready. And so every single practice that we had last year, we were going to line up in a trips, and we're going to run what we call bomb. And every time we get ready for scale, it typically does start smoother and faster. And so we're going to spot the ball in the same spot, the same yard line, and we're going to run the same play. And everybody knows it. The scout team knows it. Doesn't matter. We just want to get that first play off and make sure to get the drill going. As far as our script, you can see here that this is our Tuesday practice. And so we are working that coming out from the -5. We'll move the football, and once we get into the yellow zone, then obviously our objective does change, and we're trying to cross the 50. Some of the things that I feel like we have done well is with our practice plan every week, we've got all of our stuff in there, just basically being a resource for our coaches. So we've got our defensive script, we got our culture terms, and you see that at the top here. Tuesday is brotherhood for us. And really just to kind of streamline the message every day. And I want our coaches to have access to those things. We've got our overall schedule, our coaches' responsibilities. And so just mapping that out for your coaches and having that ability for them to use the scout, or excuse me, the practice plan every day and have all the resources built in, I think has really streamlined what we do. We do use the Google Sheets, and our coaches are able to constantly be creating exactly what they want for practice and inside their individual periods. And also our coordinators are able to do that inside scale and team. And so it's a little look at our Tuesday practice plan. Getting back to the presentation, this is kind of our scouting report. And again, you can't practice without having a great plan. This is what we're trying to accomplish. We're going through and we're basically gathering this information, and this is what we're sharing with our players. And so this was a semifinal game, and we're going to obviously put who they played, what their score was, how many points they've allowed and given up. And not going to go through everything in here, but one of the things that we do on Monday, we do a celebrate success, and we really want to honor those guys that played well. We tell our team that this is not an individual sport. This is a team sport, but we are going to honor those that performed at a high level. And those are some of the things that we honor. Love to do those awards and rewards for those scout team guys, and we call that the hard hats. And those guys are awarded the hat of the week, and we take a picture and post that on social media and really try to do a great job of just celebrating that success that those guys have. We're going to go through and map out the defensive overview, and we're going to talk about the insides and the outsides of that defense, their blitzes, their pressures, and their slants, their twists. This would be an example of using the halo and just giving our receivers the ideas of where are we going to attack. When we line up in our 2x2, where are the voids of space? We're going to give them the visuals of those pictures. They obviously have access and can get on Huddle, but as we walk through this on Monday, we want them to have as many visuals as possible. And so we'll do this for each player as well. We're going to do a D-line overview and really try to give our offensive line as many pieces of information as possible pertaining to each of those defensive players. Does everybody get on here and read this? Absolutely not. But those that start, those that have the ownership and have the skin in the game, they're going to really utilize this. And I know that our offensive linemen appreciate our offensive line coach being very detailed and trying to get as many pieces of information to prepare them as possible. So we'll do that with each player. We'll do our secondary overview and really try to give our quarterback and our receivers as much information as we can as well. And then we're going to our run plan. And our run plan on this particular report is very extreme, and typically late in the game it's a lot more than earlier, or late in the season it's a lot more than earlier in the season. So that obviously has to be scaled down, our screen plan and then our pass plan. We will go through and talk about our specials and our the other things that we may be trying to accomplish in that call sheet, and then we'll give them those keys to victory. And a lot of fun being able to create those keys to victory. And then on Monday, as we celebrate success, review some of those and talk about those that we did well and those that we've got to improve on. Real quick, I'll show you our Wednesday practice plan. The thing that is a little bit different with our Wednesday practice plan, like I said, is we're heavy blitz pickup that day. We're big 3rd and 4th down. And so once we get into our landmarks, that is when we cross the 50, we want to take safe, aggressive shots, and we'll work those plays that we have that we want to take advantage of in the landmark area. We also will work heavy red zone that day and goal line. So you can see that that's scripted out in those particular spots on the field. Wednesday's not one of those days where that particular practice plan doesn't look exactly like Tuesday's. Wednesday's core value is compete. And so we will, during that halftime on Wednesday, we will have some kind of competition. And so you can see there kind of how we map it out. We start with 5-minute periods early in the year. Once we get into conference season, we turn those 5-minute periods into 4-minute periods. We really try, doesn't always happen, but we really try to get as much work done inside 4 as we were in 5. Like I said, it doesn't typically happen. But for the most part, we feel like it keeps us fresh, and I think the players appreciate it. I believe I had a Thursday practice plan on here as well. Thursday practice plan is a sprint through for us, and I'm going to try to move this real quick. How come that's not moving? There we go. I may not have put the Thursday practice plan on here, but the script, once we get into our scripting, again, we want to try to find as many opportunities as we can to go through this script. And so this is the first 3 11-play scripts that I referred to earlier. And once we get into Wednesday practice, pre-practice, we're going to walk through each of these scripts and really make sure our guys understand the ins and outs against whatever look they may possibly get that week. And so we want to be extremely thorough with our scripts and be able to get at least 6 different opportunities from Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to prepare for that, for the very best that we can for that first half of our play calls. We do have our P and 10 calls on here, our third down from left, middle, right. We'll go third, medium, short, and long, our landmark, and then our red zone and goal line. So I believe from the focus of what we do early in the week, trying to take those playlists, trying to accumulate the information that we want to get as we begin our scouting reports, really finding the areas that we want to attack as an offense based on space and personnel. And then really kind of condensing that, taking all of those ideas and condensing it so that we can practice those reps is something that we've gotten better at. It's obviously something that we want to continue to improve at, but giving our offensive unit the confidence because they've gone through these scripts 6 different times before Friday night, I believe has helped us be a much better first half team. And I really believe that in order to do that, you've got to have the ability to have a system in place where, for us, we know that on Tuesday, we're going to work coming out. We're going to work our yellow zone. On Wednesday, we're going to work our landmarks, our red zone, and our goal line. And we're going to be able to utilize those scripts every day throughout the week from Wednesday on to really make sure our guys are extremely prepared for that first half, as we call those plays, and try to execute them to the best of our ability. So I believe my 30 minutes is up, and I would like, Chris, if it's good with you, to answer any questions that anybody may have.
Yeah, if anybody's got a question, go ahead. Coach, you can put in the chat or you can just unmute yourself. Coach, I was really impressed. I mean, there's no doubt you guys do a great job. I already knew that. That's why I wanted you to speak, but very organized, very efficient, all stuff I would be doing if I was still doing it. I really like the production charts. We did that too. We did something kind of like that. I thought was really good. When people see this stuff and they're not at a school that's been as successful as yours, their mind goes to something like, well, we don't have the people to put all that stuff in and do all that. So what's the argument back to that?
As far
You
as
understand what I'm asking? Like, they don't have the people to do the video or to type in all the stuff for the scouting reports or the production chart or whatever it is. There's something that they're saying we can't do. And my argument is they can. I just wanted to know how efficient do you guys have to be to get all that done in the limited time you have during the season, to get it done.
Yeah. Well, I think if I were to go back 5 years ago, we weren't doing this, you know what I mean? And so I think once you find a great idea, once you find a great scouting report format, if you will, once we got the format, we were able to really grow that every year. And so if you go back 5 years ago, we weren't anywhere close to this. And we found a format, we got with another staff, and this particular scouting report format wasn't ours. We stole it, just like we do as in coaching with a lot of things. And each week we're able to kind of grow it. And so it probably looks like more than what it really is. But to answer that question, I think you've just got to identify what are those important things that you have to get. And we share this with our players. And like I said, they're not going to go and study an 80-page scouting report, but they're going to go and they're going to find the pieces that pertain to them.
Mhm.
I think just finding what is most important. If it's not all of this, well, maybe there's a piece of this that you feel like you could add and improve your overall weekend, improve your practice planning and your practice efficiency. Because like I said, it's not necessarily what you call, it's how comfortable and confident are those players with that call. And I really feel like being able to give them as many reps throughout the week as possible is kind of the deal there.
Yeah, absolutely, Coach. I really appreciate you coming on, Coach. Like I said, respect you guys and all y'all done there. That's one of the best schools around for football. So really appreciate you. And if I can ever help you, let me know.
All right, Chris, thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Coach.